Hey guys, this is Jen. I just wanted to quickly go over part two of positive law citations. So in the positive law citation in the front matter, we can click on this and we can scroll down and we see positive law citation. This is what it says. This title has been made positive law by Section 1 of Act July 30th, 1947, Chapter da 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 da, which provides that Title 1 of the United States Code entitled General Provisions is codified and enacted into positive law. That means the courts can see it as having been made a law and it's a constitutional law. It complies with the ideas of federalism. Federalism is defined in Executive Order 13132, signed by Bill Clinton in the 90s. Okay, and I believe it's 2G in that executive order. It's may be cited in this very specific way. 1 USC section such and such. So that's what a positive law citation looks like in the code. Usually, when the entire title has been passed into law, it's evidence that the entire title is in compliance with the ideas of federalism. Now, sometimes you see a positive law citation that comes later in the title, and it's only the things after that that um, complies with the ideas of federalism. So, again, I talk about Title 26, Internal Revenue Code, banks and banking, and when they cite Title 26, because it has no positive law citation, they don't cite it in the way that the courts can see it as being evidence of the law having been made. So it's not titled one for the IRS code. It's not titled 26 USC section such and such. They call it a number of different things. So we can look internal revenue code 1040. See if we can find one that has the see it says 26 US code section 1040. This is the proper way to cite it, except for it's USC, not US code. That's the way the positive law is cited. So real quick, let's look at another one. They're always the same way exactly. 3 U period S period C period comma section. That's the citation. That's the proper citation. When it's cited exactly this way, that's evidence that the law has been enacted, okay, by proper authority. Not just anyone can enact a law as a government entity. It has to be properly enacted by the government entity who has authority to enact it, not some other thing that looks like a government entity. They don't have authority to enact it, and the federal courts and the state courts belonging to the federal government cannot see it as evidence of a law properly enacted by the proper authority. Um, there's no evidence of it. When it's not enacted properly, there's no evidence of it. The evidence comes when they cite it this specific way, and then the judge in the case can go back and say, okay, we know that it's been cited properly. We can double check it. Yes, the title has a positive law citation. Okay, so let's go to 26. We go to front matter. There's no positive law citation. Front matter. There's no positive law citation. And anytime you email them, they sort of run you in these word circles. Okay, and they'll say this and that, and they can say whatever they want because they're not accountable for what they say. They're only accountable for what they do. Okay, and once you sign their papers, you're under that authority. 1040, 1040 instruction. Let's look at this, and the instructions does not uh, cite it as a positive law because it's never been enacted into law. The title has never been enacted into law. Okay? Only those things that comply with the ideas of federalism can be enacted into law. And you can look in here and see for yourself. Um, this is just from Google searching. You can go here, you can see all this stuff for yourself. When they cite Title 26 in here, they don't cite it the way it would be cited if it were passed into law. They cite it in a different way. Like they'll say Internal Revenue Code 26. They can't call it a United States code because it's not a United States code. They can't cite it as if it were a positive law because it's not a positive law. It does not comply with the ideas of federalism. And this is where people get confused. They say, yeah, but tax is in the Constitution. Again, the Constitution does not apply to the citizens of the state. They only apply to the citizens of the federal government. So when a private entity comes along and says, well, we're going to tax you, they tax you as a private entity, not as a government with any authority to do it, which means they have to get you to sign the forms in order for them to tax you. I'm going to pause this video real quick so I don't waste time, and I will look for that citation. Okay, so here it says our legal right to ask for information is Internal Revenue Code, sections 6001, 6011, 6012A, and their regulations. Okay, so, and there, meaning the Internal Revenue Code's regulations. Okay, and then we have this legal right. So, legal right, whenever I have researched the word legal, legal is supposed to comply with lawful. Lawful means doing what's right. But legal by itself is basically just contractual. It's a contractual thing between groups of people or one person to another person. And so, legal, if you take into consideration everything that's written, legal would mean their contractual right. So it's in the contract. So they don't have a right to ask you for information until after you've signed the contract with them. Okay, so that's their legal right, their contractual right. It's in the contract. And it's here in this spot, section 6001, 6011, 6012A. I'm not going to go over those sections. I've given you the websites. You can look them up for yourself if you so choose. It probably doesn't come right out and say, well, this is a contract, because then that would be too much in your face and then nobody would sign it. Nobody would do it, right? So they have to trick you. They have to use word garbage, um, manipulation. They have to use these various tactics to get you to sign papers with them. They have to threaten you. Well, if you don't sign the papers, you can't work for one of these high-paying corporations, making more money than the average person out there running a mom and pop business. Okay, so